Well, folks, you've heard me say this before. Okay, the time that you work on your business, not in your business, is your highest paying per hour that you'll ever have.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
Hey, folks, I was at one of my Dream Team Masterminds recently, and I was talking about my mentor. And I said, my mentor had told me this, and one of my clients, one of my members stopped me and said, hey, wait a second, should I be worried that my coach has a coach? I want to talk about that question today. I want to pause here first and remind you that we are sponsored by three great companies. One of them, OREP Insurance. OREP is the insurance that I use for my E&O. In fact, it insures my entire office. It should be insuring yours as well. It's orep.org, orep.org. We are sponsored by DataMaster. DataMaster will save you about 45 minutes for every report that you do. That's right, 45 minutes per report. Go to datamasterusa.com, datamasterusa.com. And finally, we are sponsored by Alamode. Alamode, of course, is the software that I use to do what I do. That means appraise real estate. Check them out. Go to alamode.com or 800-ALAMODE. Folks, I was at one of my mastermind meetings recently, and the question was, should I be worried that my coach has a coach? Well, I want you to answer that question for just a second. Should you be worried that a coach has a coach? I hope not. I hope not. I actually have more than one coach. I actually have several coaches. I want to spend the day today talking to you a little bit about why I have coaches. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about what my structure is, what it is that I do. I'm going to start out with accountability partners. I'm going to talk to you about my mentor, and then I'm going to talk to you about my mastermind. This is not, by the way, an appraiser mastermind. This is a business owner mastermind. All right, folks, so the question on the board is, should a coach have a coach? Well, folks, I've had coaches for lots of years. In fact, you've probably heard me on this podcast before talk about the fact that I owe much of my success, not just to actions, but to my mastermind groups. I've been doing mastermind groups for a little over 10 years now, a little over a decade, okay? And in various ways, I've been doing it for longer than that, but official mastermind groups where we have organized and this is what we do. We meet together on a regular basis, and Napoleon Hill will define those masterminds as when a group of people get together that have the same goals in mind. That's really the ultimate definition. They're there to help each other to be better. I told you I was going to start out with talking about my accountability partner, but maybe I'll switch things. Let's start, because I've already gone down that road at this point. Let's talk about mastermind groups. And I've had these groups for a long time, and usually it's been me organizing them. I just feel strongly about the whole mastermind concept. One of the great books out there that if you've not read it, I highly recommend it. It's called The Success Principles, and it's by Jack Canfield. Now, some of you will know Jack Canfield's name. He is the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, mega millionaire, and just an overall good guy, successful individual. One of these individuals that I look up to and have tried to pattern my life after. I'll tell you, if you want, there's a lot of different books you can read on success. There's a lot of different things that you can go to, and I would say the quintessential library is probably found in Napoleon Hill's writings, because Napoleon, basically his job for many years was to shadow successful people and then write about them and basically pull all of these principles together. So it's a great resource. But I'll tell you, if you want just a quick read, Napoleon Hill wrote a lot of books, right? And it'll take you a while to get through them. But if you want a quick read of, hey, here's a group of principles. And by the way, I don't agree that Jack Canfield, every one of those principles is principles, okay? To me, principles are timeless. Principles work in every situation. And it's been a while since I read it, but I remember thinking, it's not really a principle. That's just kind of an idea. But nonetheless, if you want a quick Reader's Digest version of about a 7-year process that I went through to study principles, okay? And by the way, you get what you put into things. I believe that. So the idea that you can just read one book and all of a sudden you've got all the knowledge you need to be successful, it probably won't work, okay? I mean, certainly I've read many, many books on success, and I certainly don't have all of the ideas that it's going to take me to be successful. But if you want a quick read, get to the point, Dustin. If you want a quick read on some great principles, it's Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. Okay. And one of the things that Jack talks about is the power of the mastermind. And this isn't an exact quote, but he says something to the effect of, I don't know any individual who is successful who has done so without the principle of the mastermind. Okay. Again, that's paraphrased, but it's pretty close. He does not know anyone. He's studied a lot of successful persons, human beings, and he is one of them, of course. And for him to say that, that's a pretty bold statement. Pretty bold statement to say, I don't know any individual who has reached success who has done so without the principle of the mastermind. And I'm a believer in that. I truly am. Napoleon Hill was the grandfather, if you will, of the mastermind. In fact, I think he's the one that defined mastermind. I don't see it in any writings before then. And he basically says, listen, when you get 2 or more people in the same room and they're working toward the same goal, not only do you have 2 or more people in the same room, but you have this overriding what he calls the mastermind. Okay, the third party, if you will. Now, some of you are going to call that God. Some of you are going to call that the universe. Some of you are just going to call it what Stephen Covey called it, and that's synergy, right? Just this idea that when you work together, that you build off of each other. And I'll tell you what happens in masterminds. You get somebody with a problem, and they throw it out on the table. And by the way, in my masterminds, I call that the couch session, because you're basically lying down on the couch in the psychologist's office and say, okay, folks, here's me, warts and all. Okay, help me, fix me. And this idea that they can throw these problems on the table, and then usually, now sometimes there's an exemption to this, but usually there's not just one answer. Usually it's not just, oh, well, I know what you need to do, just do this and you fix the problem. Oh, okay, thanks. Moving on. Usually what happens in the mastermind process is somebody will say, interesting. I've never been through that exact thing, but I did do something similar 6 months ago. Let me tell you what happened to me. And then as he's halfway through that story, someone else will say, well, yeah, and I did something similar about a year and a half ago, and here's what I did. And someone else might say, well, yeah, here's what I did when I had that problem, and don't do what I did, because trust me, it was a dead end. And then somebody else will say, well, that reminds me of an idea that I think might be helpful. And then we go through this process of building on each other's comments. What one person says, another person will have their mind kind of pricked to another idea. And they build on that idea, and then they'll build on that idea. And it's like building the Great Pyramids, right? That's block upon block upon block until you get to the pinnacle and you say, okay, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I love being in a mastermind. I love the idea that I can sit there and by myself, when I work on it, not in it, I can be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll reach out to my mentor and he might have an idea, but it's just not quite right yet. Then I'll go to a mastermind. I'll say, hey guys, here's what I'm dealing with. And within about 30 minutes, I'll walk away absolutely confident that I know what I need to do. That's a mastermind. I currently am a member of one mastermind, okay, where we on a regular basis, monthly, okay, it's on a Wednesday morning for 2 hours. We meet around a conference table. And I'm telling you, folks, people are dedicated to that mastermind. I did not have time to go to that mastermind this week, and I was there. I mean, I did not. I came up with every reason in the book why I couldn't go because I was so busy. I kept thinking of all the money I'm going to lose by not being at work. Well, folks, you've heard me say this before. Okay, the time that you work on your business, not in your business, is your highest paying per hour that you'll ever have. It just is. because that's where you're creative. That's where you develop. That's where you grow. That's where you market. That's where you expand. That's where success comes from. And I know that. And so I kicked myself in the behind and said, Dustin, damn you, you're not going to go to work. You're going to go to the mastermind. And I'm glad I did. Walked away with some great ideas. That's the mastermind. Now, of course, I'm running masterminds across the country for appraisers that work very similarly. The difference is they're very specific to appraisal. And people come to the table with appraisal problems, appraisal issues, appraisal business ideas, and marketing ideas, and networking ideas. And I never walk away from any of those without some idea of how to move forward. Speaking about moving forward, folks, are you moving forward in your efficiencies in your office? Well, folks, there are some things that you need to be doing. First of all, you need to be using DataMaster. DataMaster, without hesitation, I can tell you, they're going to save you 45 minutes per report. Folks, I have heard that not just from me, but from my clients across the nation. Are so glad that they switched to DataMaster. So glad that they have that at their fingertips because they're able to do more appraisal. Folks, think about, let's talk about cost for just a second. So you're going to look at the cost of DataMaster. You're going to go, geez, I don't want to pay that per month, folks. I guarantee that is going to save you. You're going to be saved enough money in the first couple of days of using DataMaster to pay for the monthly fees of DataMaster. It is insanely efficient. Check them out. Go to datamasterusa.com. It's datamasterusa.com. The other thing you need to be doing, if you're not already, is using Alamode. Okay? You need to use Alamode. Why? Because the tools and the abilities that they give you to do more with less it's unprecedented. They are the leader in the appraisal software world, and there's a reason for that. And they sometimes get a bad name. Look who owns them. Look, we're selling out to the devil. I hear everything, folks. Well, trust me, I've looked at that, okay? And I'm going to tell you that the day that I can do better with someone else is the day I'm going to switch. And right now, I'm doing the best I can, the efficiency side, with Alamode. Check them out. Go to alamode.com or pick up the phone and call them at 800-ALAMODE. Finally, we are sponsored today by OREP Insurance. I just got done with my second of 2 free classes. And I'll tell you, folks, I had the coolest experience because I had 14 hours. Okay, I need to do 15 hours per year. Okay, and 14 of those hours were free with OREP. Yeah, that's right, free. I said free. 2 7-hour classes that I was able to take for free because I'm an OREP member. Now, think about the cost that you usually spend on continuing education and ask yourself the question if it's not worth switching over to OREP just for the free education. And by the way, it was good education. It was really, really good. Tim Anderson was one of the teachers on avoiding mistakes and I don't remember the exact title, but you know, getting to a place that you're not worried every night that you're going to get taken before a state board. It was a great class online, and I could take it at my leisure. And here's the fun thing. I thought I had one more hour to get. When I put the certificates from OREP into my digital file where I keep all my class certificates, I realized I had taken a class earlier this year, and I was already over my 14 hours or my 15 hours for the year. Hallelujah. How awesome is that? Check them out. Go to orep.org. That's OREP.org. All right, folks, we are back talking today about, does the coach need a coach? Yes, he does. I would hope that any mentor, any coach that you have, I would hope that they have a coach. I really would. It's pretty hard to learn anything on your own. It really is. We learn from others. We grow through others. We look upward and we reach upward, and those individuals are hopefully pulling us to a higher level. I've talked about my mastermind that I belong to here locally. It's a group of business owners, and we meet monthly. Let me talk a little bit about my mentor. My mentor's name is Ben. And Ben has been a friend of mine for over 12 years, long time. We met shooting actually, and we had some affinities, some common themes, if you will, very similar personalities, and we kind of struck it off and started with a friendship. But I realized and recognized very soon that here's an individual who is smart. Here's an individual who thinks about things. Um, Ben is a puzzle putter together. Okay, he can take a lot of different information, seemingly unrelated, and he can kind of put it all together. It's really kind of cool. And we've had a lot of deep and honest discussions about many, many things, from religion to the universe to relationships to business over the years. And it's just been a good friendship. But one of the things I recognized up front is that Ben is very smart when it comes to business. And he thinks about things in the way that I think about them. And I love that. Now, he's not an echo chamber. One of the things I really love about Ben is when I say he thinks about things the way I think about things, I mean he thinks about things the way I think about things, not he thinks the things that I think. Make sense? In other words, he speaks my language. But one of the things that Ben doesn't do is he doesn't pat me on the head and say, "Good job, Dustin," when I haven't done a good job. When I come to Ben with an idea and say, "I've got an idea for a way that I want to take my business," Ben is not afraid to listen intently and then say, "Well, that's a stupid idea." No, he may not say it that way. He's nice, right? But he might say, "Yeah, maybe you haven't really thought through this fully. Let me help you with that." I love that about Ben because I can come to him, and there are times that I've come to him with ideas that I was excited about, and he saved my bacon, right? And vice versa. And one of the things I love about Ben is that he and I can talk business together, and he can share ideas and thoughts that he has about business and get my input. In the end, it's got to be his decision. In the end, my business decisions are mine. His business decisions are his. We're in different businesses. He's in insurance. I'm in appraisal, right? But we can talk together and bounce ideas off of each other. And it is very rare that I walk away from those conversations without some really important piece of information that I didn't think about before. That's what a mentor does. That's what a coach does. Do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach? Well, yeah, Dustin, I talk to my spouse every night. Okay. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. Why? Because they have skin in the game, folks. I love my wife to death, but I would not have done 90% of what I've done in business if I had taken her advice. Now, that is not to be disparaging of my wife. I would say this to her face. I am saying this to her face. She can jump on this podcast just as much as I can. Hi, hon. Actually, she doesn't listen to the podcast, but if she ever did, I would not be afraid to say, and she knows I've said this before, right? She would make different decisions. Now, not necessarily bad decision, but I'm a risk taker and she's not. Now, some of that's good because she's able to temper me just a little bit. Okay. She's able to rein me back just a little bit and say, hold on there, babe. Let's talk through this for a second. Now, in the end, she supports me. In the end, she says, you know what? You're the successful business owner. You need to make the decision, but I'm a little bit queasy about that one. Okay. And I will definitely take into account, her ideas, but she's not a coach. She's not that she can't be a coach. She is a coach, by the way. She's a mentor to many people. She's a teacher and she helps young people grow. Okay. But she's not my coach. She's not my mentor. I need an outside, unbiased third party. Ben really has no skin in my game. He really doesn't. Yes, we're friends, and there's probably things he wants to see me do. For example, he lives 3 hours away, and he on a regular basis says, "No, I think you need to move your business down here." And he's joking, of course, because it probably would not be good for my business to just uproot and move, right? But I do wish I lived closer to him. But we talk probably weekly. And whenever I travel to that city, which is frequently, we have lunch or dinner together and we talk through business and we talk through some of the things that we're doing. I love that. Folks, if you don't have that person, find that person. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be costly. Some people are afraid to move forward because they don't want to pay the cost of a mentor. Now, I've paid money to Ben in the past. and it was a good situation. And now I don't. Now it's kind of mutually back and forth, if you will. And there's times that I'll buy lunch. Okay, that's the cost of the mentorship, if you will. And there's things that I'll give to Ben versus him give to me. And I feel like we kind of feel like we're in an equilibrium. And part of it's because we're friends, okay, and we're not keeping track, if you will. Well, I gave you 3 pieces of advice, and you've only given me 1. We're not doing that. But that's kind of the thing, folks. I'm not asking you to find a friend, okay? But there's a lot of times when you can find a mentor where it can be mutually beneficial. That today I want to talk about my problems, and next week let's talk about your problems. And you'll be surprised as to how fast you can grow and develop with that in mind. Okay? Get a mentor, get a coach. Yes, a coach needs a coach. And that brings me to my last topic today, and that is an accountability partner. Now, a coach and a mentor can be and often is an accountability partner, but they don't have to be. Let me repeat that. A coach or a mentor can be an accountability partner, but they don't have to be. What is an accountability partner, Dustin? Well, think about it. It's a partner, an individual who holds you accountable, who holds your feet to the fire. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Statistics will show that individuals are 87% more likely to achieve their goals when they have to report to somebody. Individuals are more likely, 87% more likely. That's almost twice as more likely, almost 100% more likely to achieve their goals if they've got somebody to report to and hold their feet to the fire. Now, again, that can be your spouse, but I wouldn't recommend it. It can be your best friend. I wouldn't recommend it. It can be your child. It can be your sister. It can be a family member. I wouldn't suggest it. Again, this has to do with skin in the game. Are they going to really kick you in the ass when they need to kick you in the ass? And that's what I need, folks. I need somebody to say, Dustin, you told me you were going to stay under 1,700 calories every day this week, and you haven't even reported back to me. What the hell's going on? I need that person. That brings me to my last and final individual that I have in my life currently, who is helping me to achieve more with less. And that's my accountability partner. Her name is Dawn, okay? And I found her online. I reached out and I found her online. Okay, now I go through the process this month, September. I don't know when this is actually going to be aired, but September 2019, my coach's playbook that goes out to all of my all-star members every month has a full, I don't know, like 1,000-word essay on accountability partners and specifically mine, on how I found Dawn, how much I pay her, what she does for me. Okay, I'll just give you a quick overview, but if you want the details, it's there. And by the way, when you join, let's say you're listening to this 3 years down the road. When you join the All-Star team, you get access to all years and years of previous newsletters. So you can go back to the September 2019 newsletter and you can read all about Dawn. I'll just tell you this. I pay Dawn monthly, and Dawn is the individual that I send an email to daily, okay, just with some updates as to what I did that day. And weekly, I talk to her for about 15 to 20 minutes on the phone. And that's all she does. And by the way, she's not an appraiser. She's not even a coach or a mentor. All she is an accountability partner. Her job is to say, good job, Dustin, or you need to do better, Dustin. That's it. That's all she does. Frankly, when I talk to her on the phone call, she sometimes gives me advice that frankly I just know is not real great advice because she's not in my line of work. And that's okay. That's not her job. Her job is not to be my mentor. I have a mentor. Her job is to be my accountability partner because I know that I'm 87% more likely to not pick up that donut when I know I'm going to have to report the donut at the end of the day. Really, honestly. Sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes I'm so tempted to just say, screw it. I'm so busy. Give me a Diet Coke, right? And I don't do it. I don't do it because of Dawn. I don't want to get in trouble with Dawn. Folks, you need an accountability partner. You need to find somebody that you can report to. Now, it does not cost me a lot of money Again, all the details are in my All-Star Team newsletter. It does not cost me a lot of money to have an accountability partner, but she is that extra barrier, if you will, that firewall, keeping me on track, keeping me from losing track. That's what an accountability or a running partner can do for you. So in answer to the question, does a coach need a coach? Absolutely yes. Everybody needs a coach. I think everybody needs a mastermind. I think everybody needs all of these together. Speaking of which, okay, I talked a little bit about my newsletter, and if you want the details on Dawn and what she does, please join. It's $49 a month, folks. It's a steal. It is a steal. All of my business secrets are found in that newsletter. You have access to me online, as well as a monthly interactive meeting where you can tell me your goals, where I can hold you accountable, where you can question and get ideas from other appraisers across the nation. And of course, we've got the masterminds still running across the nation, 7 of them right now, including one of them online. That's different than the monthly meeting that we have for the All-Star Team. It's in addition. By the way, as a member of the mastermind, you also are a member of the All-Star Team. Check it out. Go to theappraisercoach.com/memberships, theappraisercoach.com/memberships.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star Team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
By the way, you probably will hear a bird chirping in the background. It's such a nice day, folks. I know this is super unprofessional, but I have my window wide open. It's right next to the microphone, but it is so gorgeous outside. I love the sounds of nature. I just left it open. So there you go. So if you hear a little chirping outside, maybe you might hear a car pass once in a while. Oh, well. Oh, well. That's the way it's going to be today.